Air drums back.
Woo! All right, that is all we have for that tune. I think we might buy the rights for the instrumental, and then we could add our own Cobra Kai lyrics to it, Garth, maybe. No?
Yeah, I'll leave that to you, mate. I've not got the creative. I've not got the creative juice, bruv. Yeah, I've not got the creative juice.
I'm on that one. Yeah, you are. We are here for the next episode, the next installment of your Cobra Kai review. It's episode 6, 5 and 6, 6 and 7
and 8.
6, 7 and 8, bro. 6, 7 and 8. 6, 7 and 8. Oh, you're in for an absolute treat because this is where it starts to get moving. This is where it starts to get going, people. Seriously, if you've not seen Cobra Kai so far, I mean, there's going to be a few spoilers in here, but this should be fuel to the fire to go and see it. Trust me on that one. Yeah. Hey, how are you feeling today, Garth? Had plenty of sleep, well rested, doubled down on your episodes of Cobra Kai, watched them twice yet?
No, obviously I'm having to watch that Andor at the moment, ain't I? Just once so far for Cobra Kai. I'll go back to it though. I might even do the whole series again, to be quite honest with you, 1 to 5, because I love it that much. 1 to 5, all day, mate. Yeah, all day, bro.
Savage.
All day.
Well, let's get going. Season 5, episode 6 starts off with a pump. We've got what can only be described as like the villain's version of the Avengers karate mission turning up to Terry Silver. And once again, I have to reiterate, Terry Silver being the front man of that clan is a great picture. I'd like a poster of that with Terry and his crew, especially the geezer with the patch as well. You know the main girl, which is what's her name's granddaughter. You know
Kim Sung-young.
You know she has it. You know she's gonna have it just by the look. Any woman that's got no fringe, no sideburns, and no general hair, and it feels like she was going to take the eyebrows off, but then opted against it. Maybe anyone that's that is a warrior. They're not in it for aesthetics. They're in it for war, and she's winning. Trust me, 100% she's winning. So we see Terry Silver assemble his crew, his motley crew, and they go straight down to Topanga Karate. Now, if you don't know about Topanga Karate, you could have easily missed it. They competed in the tournament in the Valley tournament. And I think is it Xander Stone who was the previous champion? I'm pulling this out of nowhere, bro. Oh my god, Xander Stone. Check that out, Garth. Check that out. Was it Xander Stone who was the previous champion who Miguel beat? If that, I swear, I don't know where that's come from. Honestly.
Let's have a look. Xander Stone, 100%. 100%. Yeah. Minor character apparently according to this.
Reminded me of a young Tarzan.
Great scene though.
Great scene. Yeah, when they go down to Topanga, and in typical Terry Silver fashion, he dupes the sensei there into selling his dojo and then gets rid of him within seconds. Like, the geezer's baffled. He's confused as to what's happening. We've also got another karate protege in Devon who's also there, who was beaten by Tori. Was she beaten by Tori? She was beaten by Tori in a tournament as well. And yeah, they kind of, this is also the start of where Terry Silver and his crew test the resolve and the loyalty of Tori. Starts to get a bit juicy there. What else have we got in this episode as well? Next up, we've got we get to see a little bit more of John Creasy Boy and Tori. But we, how do people get manipulated by that geezer?
Easily, by the looks of things, according to this show, mate. I think, like I said, I think when it comes to Tori specifically, John Kreese has shown more affection than to anyone else. Obviously, he's looked after it's a sub story you don't really hear about, but I'm guessing he's been obviously he sorts out the predator landlord for her, who's like saying basically sleep with me or pay your rent. You know what I mean? He sorts him out. I'm guessing he's paid a little bit of rent here for some groceries. You know what I mean? That sort of stuff. So she's probably got more loyalty to him. So it's not so much being duped, but she actually feels a father-daughter connection there, I think, if you know what I mean. He's a manipulator. He's a born manipulator. That is what it is. That's what he does, isn't it? You know what I mean? He gets inside people's head. And what happens with people like that is exactly what we're seeing in the show, is finally you end up with no one, you know what I mean? And this is the last person that he can control is Tori, is how I see it.
Yeah, no, definitely. We also see Tori try and warn Devon in the most subtlest of way to essentially stay away and not join Cobra Kai. She doesn't say it, and she's not as like open about like trying to, or obvious as trying to her not to join Cobra Kai. But you can see it in her eyes. You can see she's worried that she could be drawn into this. And with Devon's enthusiasm to Cobra Kai and being blinded by the lights, essentially, it's obvious that she's going to be a moth to a light when it comes to joining Cobra Kai and getting fully involved in it as well, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Again, like we all know what Silver's up to, but if you're a kid into karate and you see that dojo, you're going to be like, yeah, all day. These are the best. Like they've got the best senseis, they've got the best equipment, they've got the best dojo. Why wouldn't you join Cobra Kai? You know, and it's only because we know what an absolute piece of shit Terry Silver is that you wouldn't. And same with Tori. She knows what's going on, and she's trying to stop her from, as you're saying, in the slightest way possible without giving herself away, trying to stop her from joining. But no one's going to stop you if you want to. You know what I mean? It would be amazing if that's your karate dojo. You know, when I did karate as a kid, mate, it was above a swimming pool in a smelly old room, mate. So.
Exactly. And yeah, like you said, they're not blamed because they are young. And look, Cobra Kai is it's the equivalent of what Miyagi-Do is. I don't know, maybe playing for a team in the League One, and then you've got Cobra Kai Man City, like their facilities, and it's ridiculous. Like they've got smoothie bar, they got the lot, gym in there. When Miyagi-Do karate has
chores, chores.
Yeah, he has chores. Wax on, wax off, washing cars, a lot of balancing, and paper mache, like or origami. So I can understand. I can completely understand. Then, this is. I feel like this was the real start of Johnny and Chosen.
Yeah,
when they go down to the dojo to kick ass, and it's just comical value, and of course, great fighting. Yeah, Johnny and Chosen. They are a match made in heaven, aren't they?
Yeah. Great fight. See, I love it was in the trailer, the line, but I love that line there. Dojo's closed, no lessons today. We're not here to take a lesson, we're here to teach one. I was just like, yeah. To be fair though, that dude gives the guy it takes him a lot to take him down in the end.
Yeah, like two people.
Yeah. Like even that, like a lot of like proper hard fight for both of them. I mean, even Chosen says it's maybe not in this episode, but coming up that like I took down 6 of his senseis on my own. It took 2 of us to take this one dude down. You know what I mean? Yeah, so they're showing that the script showing that these new 6 senseis are not to be trifled with. They will absolutely like mess you up if it gets to that stage. So
no, they will, and they do. They make it very evident that you're not beating this team one-on-one. It's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot. You got to dig deep. You got to dig a little deeper to come and beat this team. Also in this episode, we saw John Kreese in prison teaching the prisoners a lesson because he was getting bullied, weren't he? He was getting bullied.
They tried. Yeah, they tried.
They tried to bully. They tried to pull him. They took his jelly And then once you take someone's jelly, like they're your bitch, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Well,
you know,
John Kreese weren't having it.
Hand in my pocket, boy. Hand in my pocket.
Yeah. Hold on to that, mate. Yeah, hold on to that.
We've seen the same American prison dramas, then. But it's more, obviously, it's because he's trying to swindle an early parole with the psychiatrist, isn't he? And then he gets told that it's not happening, and that's when he's like, "All right, so I ain't getting bullied no more." Then,
I got nothing to lose. So he takes out 5 of the biggest geezers in prison. One geezer
takes him out hard as well.
Stab him with something, and he dodges that, puts it in himself. Like it's a savage scene. It's a very good scene. But what he does, which is really good, is he takes himself back to when he was young, and that's who's fighting them. I like that. I love that kind of stuff. I rated that because he had to dig deep once again, go back to his youth, and that's how you fight. Like, and he did. He tore him up. He dealt him a good one. And then the end as well. Go on.
I was gonna say, what I will say is we see John Kreese as his younger self in 1980. It's set there. He had a hard 4 years before Karate Kid, mate, to turn into what he's a hard 4 years, mate.
That's a great shout. That's a great shout because we saw what he was like from. Surely that's not meant to be. Was that 1980? Was that meant to be?
Yeah, I'm sure it's in 1980 when he's with Kim Sung Young training the South Korean martial arts.
No way, because like you said,
I'm sure it is.
Oh, mate, they need to. If that is the case, that is I don't know what happened in those 4 years. He should have just taken Terry Silver's money. He'd have been sweet. Instead,
stay away from meth kids. Stay away from meth kids because it's a hard way. It's a hard life.
I won't even go into that. You just threw me back to another bit, but I won't go into that yet. All right. We're on to episode 7 already.
7, yeah, straight into 7. Sorry, there's one little bit in it. They have to reinvigorate Daniel to get back into fighting. So Amanda takes him to Mr. Yagi's old room, and he's never been in this.
And you know what? Do you know why I didn't remember that? Because I shoved that in the bin, which is in the back of my skull, because I couldn't handle the absolute cheddar that bit was. Look, I get it; those bits have to be in, but there's sometimes when I struggle to stomach it because they slapped it on thick.
Oh yeah, that's cheese on cheese.
Slapped on thick. On thick. So yeah, all right. Well remembered. And it's good that you remembered that because right at the start of episode 7 is where they start to get a plan together. Daniel's back on side. They're trying to get together, work out a plan of how to get Terry Silver, essentially. Which is there a plan to get Terry Silver? There's no plan to get Terry Silver because he's the slickest geezer on the planet. I don't think I've ever had so much love for a villain.
No, yeah, he's the ultimate. Like, honestly, he needs more work now as well. That actor, he needs more work as villains somewhere because amazing. Like I said, like Karate Kid 3 for me was never my favorite, so I didn't watch it that much, to be fair. But him in the last 2 seasons, brother, I've been like, this geezer is phenomenal in this role. Like, he's absolutely he's born to play this role. Clearly, like we said, the smile, the ultimate villain smile, everything about it. Like
Even when he loses, he's winning, and the hair is a mess. The blood down the face, like little bits like that. He's quality. He's quality. He's absolute gold. Great. It was, look, it feels like they didn't have a choice because they've clearly made that plan to go back and use all the old actors that were in the originals, and I'm so glad they did because it could have been very easy to just not bring them back, but they it's a game changer.
Yeah. Like I said, I think that I really truly feel that it's one of the greatest testaments to the show that they brought them all back. It really, because again, like if you're into the Karate Kids, like most of us of our age, then you like to see them, and they're the real people, They're the same actors, and it's just a nice continuity, especially when the flashbacks are going on as well. You know what I mean? Like to the old films. they're them. There's no recasting. It's awesome. There's no two ways about it. It's fair play to Cobra Kai for doing that. It would have been very easy to recast these roles if they wanted.
Yeah.
Very,
and
very easily.
The best thing is we watched all the films when we were younger, yeah? So we know all the characters. And then when you see them without it being confirmed, you're like, it's the bad boy. It's Mike Barnes. It's so-and-so. I'm like, I'm sure is that? Oh, yes, it is. It's Daniel's ex-girlfriend, who is Amanda's sister. Like, what the hell? That was like, what? When did what?
So we got that bit wrong, by the way. Cousin apparently is who she is. It's her cousin, but yeah,
don't make
no difference. No,
makes zero difference.
No, man got game. Daniel's got game, bruv. That's all there is to it.
What happened to girl code? Huh?
Goes out the window. Goes out the window when the man's got an automobile dealership, bruv. You know what I'm saying? Clearly, the crane has impressed a lot of ladies in the valley. We're talking about, it's not just a valley, mate. He's pulling them out in Okinawa as well, bruv.
Oh yeah, no, he is the Slayer from Okinawa. Yeah, Daniel's son. That just reminded me of later episodes. But this for me was this next part was really poignant because this for me was the start from what I'm seeing as Chosen being the new Mr. Miyagi. Or Mr. Miyagi 2.0 when he's training Miyagi Dofang with the eggs.
Great scene. Really.
Oh, in typical Dimitri fashion, he can't help but just talk his way into trouble. Brilliant start. This is why I like him so much.
You know, the moment he starts talking about it, you're like, that's getting smashed right now. 5, 4. Oh, it's done. It's happened. It's over.
Yeah. And in typical master sensei fashion, as they do like to do, whether it's from old school classic karate films to Kung Fu Panda, Chosen was one step ahead of everybody, every single last person, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. But it finished off, I think this was the one where it finished off. Yeah, it did. It was all in the same session, weren't it? It finished off them learning, which you've got to work as a team.
And you just know that that's coming back at some point. You just know it is. You don't need to watch anymore. You just know it is. But even then, he's got Chosen again with some great lines. I forget what they are. He's like, are these some sort of secret special eggs? He's like, no, 329 Trader Joe's. And I'm just cracking, the deadpan. I know it ain't that, but the deadpan dryness of his delivery. Obviously, it's an English thing, isn't it? Like being dry, deadpan like that. Like it cracks me up. It cracks me up.
Not being overly obvious. Like it's a joke without being a joke.
Yeah, even the stupid little lines that he's making every time he breaks one of their eggs, like birds of a feather flock to
yes, yeah. He loves it. Yeah, no.
Two in the hand is worth one in the trunk. Obviously, in that scene, we get the that Miguel and I've forgotten her name now. Getting back together, LaRusso's daughter are getting back together, and they have their little moment. Sam, sorry, yeah.
This was quite early in that situation, weren't it? When they were still a bit awkward with each other, or were they not? Were they starting to become not awkward anymore?
This is where they starting to become not awkward, where it's just them two left in the dojo.
Oh yes, yes, well remembered. And then Sam's is in her bag, or so she thinks, and then Miguel's in his pocket, which was a terrible idea. Like, come on, you fool! You should know that Chosen was always going to get it out of your pocket. Next up, we were dealt with. Oh, this was where the senseis, the Avenger senseis, had to fight the students, but it was 2 against 1. And once again, it was all about teamwork. Tori working with Devon in the end to actually get things done. And Kenny, I do like Kenny because he was he's the new Miguel, isn't he? He learns to be more assertive and be a leader. Now, I actually made notes on this one as well, yeah. And the sadistic person that I am actually noted that Terry Silver, actually, although he's a piece of shit, he has some really good sound life advice for the kids as well. Just as much as Miyagi Dofang. Maybe slightly skewed with winning at all costs, but he makes some really good points, not only to Tory, but also to Kenny as well. I thought it was a great line where he said, "What do you want me to do next?" He goes, "Stop asking everyone else that question and ask that yourself." Brilliant. That is a great line. That's a great line for life. Stop asking everyone else that question and ask yourself what you should do next.
I suppose you've got to take it on that, like, in his mind, he knows what he's doing is slimy and devious, but in his mind, he's a businessman. He's not really doing anything wrong. You've got to, like, in his mind, Daniel LaRusso and Miyagi Fang are coming for him. You know what I mean? Like, he's just expanding his dojos. Yeah, like, his methods can be seen as cruel sometimes, but no, you're entirely right. What he says to Ken is exactly what he needs to hear. You've been listening to your father, then who? Oh, your brother, then who? Now me. No. Listen to yourself. You take the lead, and then Kenny comes out as a bad man for the after that scene.
He does, and that's why I like Kenny. And like you said, do you know what? That is a great point. The whole time you was thinking that, I weren't even really listening to you, brother. I was thinking, shit, we've got another Johnny and Daniel situation, haven't we? Are we going to see stuff from Terry Silver's side at one point? Because when you look at things. Look, Terry Silver is a good guy when he's in the army. He's a good guy when he's trying to help John Kreese out, because obviously he's come across money now, and he's trying to bring up his mate with him as well. That's all good. Yes, he's probably been led astray because of the training and coaching that he's had himself. But like, look, take away the angle that we're seeing from everyone else. Stand in Terry Silver's shoes, exactly what you said. He's just got there. He's been brought in by John Kreese. Kreese has then been a bit shady. He's trying to take it, and then also John Kreese also brings him back into that mindset of being the nut job again.
Yeah. That's what, because you think about it, he's obviously lived a pretty good life after Karate Kid 3, pretty wholesome life, you know what I mean? He's eating quinoa salads and stuff like that with his missus, like, and I think he says it at some point, doesn't he, early on? He's like, "You've ruined my mind space. Like, you've come into my life and you've ruined it." Like, and now he's back, you know what I mean? And there's a fine line between being a competitive leader and a madman, you know what I mean? And he crosses that line. He does. But like you just said, like a bit like Kreese, though, like Kreese has a point moment where he says, like, all I want is for the kids to be better than me. And you don't like, and you're like, yeah, but you're still,
but you're going the wrong way about it.
Yeah. But they don't realize that at the time, innit? They're like, everyone thinks they're the good guy. That's what there always is. You sometimes you've got to take a step back and realize that they think they're the good guy as well. You know, Terry Silver probably does think in a small part of himself that he's helping these kids. It ain't just about winning tournaments and stuff. You know what I mean? Obviously, we find out a bit later that it's more about getting this South Korean style that has been left behind back into the spotlight and things like that. But even that is not exactly like that's the worst thing in the world. You know what I mean? It's really not. So but he's just devious and slimy.
Yeah,
so, you know what I mean? He's Machiavellian is the word.
At all costs. Get it done at all costs. And look, I think you made a great point earlier. He's a businessman, and to be a businessman as successul he has, you have to be a monster. I'm sorry. Anyone else that wants to tell you out there that you've got to be the nicest guy on the planet, in every 10 uber successful businessmen, you'll get one, if that's a really nice guy, like really nice guy. Everyone's got a bit of niceness in him, but you have to be a monster to reach the top. I'm sorry, and you've got to be a bit of Terry Silver to reach the top. You do.
Yeah, Machiavellian, brother. Like the phrase "nice guys come last" isn't a lie, mate. You know what I mean? If you're like in business, brother, you're too nicer, you're gonna get steamrolled by people, bruv, because it's a cutthroat world, isn't it? You know what I mean? So but
totally agree. So we saw Tori and Devon working together, and we saw what's his name? Not Kenny,
Kyler.
Kyler.
My least favorite character. My least.
Yeah. Do you know why? Do you know why I don't like Kyler as well? One, he's a terrible bully.
Yeah,
Two,
terrible.
He's got awful lines, and three, he seems so fake.
Yeah.
Like, he
couldn't agree with you more.
So disingenuous. Everything he does, it all seems like it's a front. Even early doors when he was Mr. Nice Guy, it was a front. Like, it's just There's nothing that you actually feel like you know about him. There's nothing that you actually feel like this is a guy. Like he's all even. I can't even speak. I need to say something. But yeah, no, he's just not likable in any way, shape, or form.
A very one-dimensional character. You know what he is? He is the stereotypical American TV show bully who's got nothing about him apart from he's got a group of mates and he's a bully. And he's one of them dudes. I know he's been punched a few times, but he's one in real life. That guy just takes one punch to the face and he's crying home. He's in a corner and he ain't coming out of his bedroom for 3 weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's getting knocked out. He's getting absolutely pummeled. He's getting dropped. And then we saw some Cobra Kai history being made when Daniel and Johnny went to the prison to do a deal with John Kreese. John Kreese had information on Terry Silver about who actually beat up Stingray. And Daniel was willing to give John Kreese his best lawyer's number, and the lawyer would work with him to get John Kreese out of prison because he's innocent, obviously. Yeah.
In exchange for the plan of Terry Silver, in exchange for what Terry Silver's up to, yeah.
In exchange for what Terry Silver's up to. What was it in the end? How did he explain it?
He wants to take this global karate competition, which I'm going to butcher the name, the Sakai. I can't pronounce it very well, which is basically the number one. It's
K. 2K to King K. 2K to King K.
It's the World Championship of Karate, basically. It's the World Cup of Karate, and he wants to. The young girl, the female sensei now, who's the granddaughter of Kim Sung Young. I can't think of her name. Kim Dae Yun. She wants her grandfather's martial arts to be shown to the world, and it will be shown to the world at this tournament if they win it, and it will bring it back as the main form of martial arts. Obviously, it's, as Chosen says earlier, it's got no honor about it. It's not really a martial arts that, like, real martial arts is all about honor and and dignity and stuff like that. And it has none, and she wants it back to the top, and that's basically the plan. And when I heard it, I was like, "Oh, is that it? That's all you got?" Like, all right, fair enough. And that is the plan. He tells them that is the plan. That they're going to take this. They're going to take Cobra Kai and this martial art, South Korean martial art, to this World Championship of karate and show the world how it is. And then the greatest Daniel LaRusso moment of any part of Karate Kid or Cobra Kai comes from that bit, mate. In my book.
Continue.
So, like, Kreese gives him all the information, and then LaRusso gives him a bit of paper which has apparently got the lawyer's number on it. He opens it up with the phrase "No mercy, motherfucker" written on it, and I cheered, mate. I don't care. I cheered, bruv.
That was brilliant. The whole way through, I'm like, nah, they can't be working with this fool. They cannot be working with John Kreese. They can't. They can't. Like, I was fooled. As much as John Kreese was.
Yeah.
Fully fooled. And then when he opened that note, it was like, oh, yes, you bastards. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Brilliant. If you could double cross John Kreese, you're a G. You're a G. Yeah. Absolutely loved it. And then towards the end of that episode was when we got to see Terry Silver and John Kreese's flashback to their training, which also ties in. Sorry, I've forgotten the name again.
Kim Dae Yun. Kim Dae Yun is a
Kim Dae Yun. We got to see Kim Dae Yun as a youngster, which then will ties into the story of why Terry Silver knows her and John Kreese knows her from when she was a kid. So they added that little flashback in there, and then it ended. What was the ending of that one? The end of that one was.
I think the ending is the prison scene. We missed out on Kenny taking the lead over Kyler not being happy about it, and actually getting the hit on I don't know what Tyrone Woodley's character's name is, but Tyrone Woodley getting the fly jumping. Basically, Kyler gets knocked down. Kenny does a flying jump off of him with a beautiful flying front kick straight to the chest.
Yeah, and this is indicative of why I don't like Tyler, because when he walked out, he was walking out like it was his plan. Like it was like, look,
yeah.
Kenny,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, you fucking wet blanket. Honestly, sorry. But he's honestly, he was winding me up there. I was like, someone just punch him in his face. Like, honestly, this geezer's a dick.
Yeah, see, now you mentioned that I was exactly that's when my hatred for him really cemented. I was just like, I don't like this geezer at all. Look at him, little melt. Like, next to the new cool kid. I hate people like that. But actually, fair play. They've made that character what he's meant to be, because I hate people like that.
Yeah, and you know what? Actually, let's go back, yeah, because you know what's annoying me? The whole time he kept on telling Kenny to go and do bits, and he was just sort of like hiding behind him.
Yeah, doing nothing.
Doing nothing, and then blaming him. Yeah, that was winding me up as well. Yeah. We don't like Tyler. Kyler.
Yeah. You know he's the sort of dude. He's the sort of dude who's like, "I'll be back. I'll be back. I'll be back," and you're just standing.
And then everyone lets go of him, and then
and he don't do shit. Yeah,
punched in the
floor. Melt.
We shouldn't have this much hatred for someone who's a fictional TV character. It's not.
Good writing. Like I said, when it's good writing, it's good writing. Yeah, because I dislike him intensely. Mate. So.
Episode 8 gave us the introduction to. Sorry, what was the name? What was the name of that tournament? Sakai.
Yeah, basically Sakai Takai. I can't pronounce it
Sakai
properly.
Takai.
Sakai. You know, the World Championship Sakai Takai.
That's how they say it.
Sakai Takai. You want to go into the Sakai Takai?
Yeah, that's what we want. We want to be in part of the Sakai Takai. So the judges come down to basically check out what Cobra Kai is about and see whether they're going to be a part of the Sakai Takai. But in typical Miyagi-Do Fang style, they burst in. And we all knew it was going to happen next. They say their piece. No, they're not the only dojo in the valley. We're about. So who are you? We are a combination of two. I was like, oh my god, goose pimples.
Opposing styles. It's the panning along them as well, and it's like I'm Daniel LaRusso. I'm Daniel Russo, 2-time All Valley champion.
Yeah.
Also, two-time Valley champion.
Yeah,
chosen Master Sensei, and then obviously Amanda, karate adjacent, and I just love that entire bit. And then the German dude turns to him, he's like, "You made it sound like you had all the champions here." And Johnny comes out of the line of, "Yeah, that's the problem with Cobra Kai. You'll find that they lie about everything." And I was like, just embarrassing him in front of everyone. I love that scene, Rob.
Yeah, because you could see Terry Silver absolutely squirming. The
mask slips for a second there. He's like cool veneer. It slips for a second. Just for a second, you see it slip when they do that.
First time you've seen it slip since I'm trying to think. Since Karate Kid 3, probably.
More than likely, yeah.
Been a very cool character. Even when he came back into it, he was a different demeanor. He was happy with himself. He was a bit more of less of a savage, should we say. But still, there was no drop of the mask. Even when he turned to start becoming Terry Silver of old, it sort of just evolved slowly enough that he didn't really notice it. It went from this guy who didn't really want to be involved to a guy who was starting to be involved and was getting drawn in and manipulated by John Kreese. Then all of a sudden, he'd switched and he double-crossed John Kreese, and he was Terry Silver that we know now. So, yeah, you're right. The mask did come down and he looked vexed. He looked very, very unhappy. After that, we got to see the two teams essentially training, getting prepared for the judges to vote on who's going to go to the tournament.
Was it ever in doubt that they were both going? No, it was not.
It was never in doubt.
And I won't lie, I thought that was a quite a lackluster montage scene as well. I was like, for what it could have been, I was like, yeah, it's all right, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like it could have been far better when they're training and everything. You know what I mean? Showing off each gym.
Yeah, do you know what? I find it's tough because if they're not fighting and they're just doing the moves, it's hard to sort of get really too excited about some of that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
no, yeah, I agree.
It was only going to really get going once this was a draw, as it was always going to be, and had to be settled with a fight. And the fight was always going to be Kenny versus Eli, aka Hulk. And the fight was always going to be Tori versus Sam.
Yeah.
It was always going to be that. But before that, we got to see this was where, first of all, Tori went to see John Kreese, and he'd basically given up hope. And he said, go and look after yourself. Go and look after yourself, because it's only everyone else is going to let you down. You are not going to let yourself down. So look after yourself there. To which she lost the plot there. She had no one else to go to. And we've got to remember, Tori's having it hard. Like, she's looking after her mum, who's a cancer patient. She's still a kid, and she's got to act like an adult. And her only release is karate. So you can understand why she's holding on to some form of hope. Or she's involved in the karate. She still wants to be there. It's hard to just let go. So you got to empathize with her a bit. But then also we saw Terry Silver do his reenactment of Karate Kid 3 with Kenny, where he was fully getting into his head and teaching him the dark arts of karate. The silver bullet, bruv. When he showed that on the mannequin,
mate.
When he showed that on the mannequin and it ripped a hole in it, I was like, "Hey, that's a bit savage, And obviously, Kenny's gonna do his best to use it. What else did we have in this episode? This is where the fight comes in.
Yeah. So now we get the competition. Like, the two dojos have done well with their showing off their different, because that's the whole thing. It's the opposing viewpoints in it. The high tech gym with all of this nonsense, and compared to the Miyagi Do Eagle Fang situation, where it's all like rustic and it's more about the actual philosophy of karate. Yeah, you know what I mean. And how they've brought two opposing views together. And obviously, what you get is the great scene of the German translator and Johnny bonding over Rocky.
Yeah. That's well funny. Yeah. That's quality. Because you don't. I wonder whether that judge is someone in martial arts.
Possibly.
Because,
it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise
and I wouldn't be surprised if all of them were, because the way he was like, look, let's get it straight. He wasn't the best actor. And the way he was so much of a presence leads me to believe that he's actually doing a cameo, and he's maybe actually part of high society in karate.
More than likely.
Yeah,
the way the show works, it wouldn't surprise me, man.
Yeah,
I'm
gonna have to do research on that one. Because it just seemed a bit like no one else was being really used. Everyone else behind, for me, seemed like they could have. They were like actual people in the martial arts world, and he was the one who could do at least a little bit of acting.
You're probably right there, mate. You're probably right thinking about it. Obviously, just before the fights, what we do find out is Tori realizes that Silver's bribed another referee yet again.
Yes, and that wasn't said. That was just done by looks, weren't it?
Yeah.
That was done by looks.
Yeah, I didn't catch it until
the ref kept on looking at Silver.
Yeah.
Beforehand,
exactly.
And then she looked at, and she was doing that. She was just double taking all over the place. And then, it was obvious. In the end, it was obvious. So she done a runner
all day.
Yeah, she done a runner, which meant Devin had to step in against Sam. But before that, it was Hulk versus Kenny. And Kenny lands the silver bullet into Hulk's chest, to which Hulk can't breathe. And
well, that's the point where she realizes, isn't it? Because Hulk should get a point, but the ref calls it as out of bounds, and it's like this is happening again.
Yes. You're right. Well remembered. Yes, Hulk should have got a point. Referee called it out of bounds, and there was also an illegal move, wasn't there? Was Kenny's not an illegal move?
Well, I would have thought that the silver. This is what I was thinking the way through it. That silver bullet punch would be an illegal move. I would have thought, because
I'm pretty
I don't
sure.
know that, though.
I think Kenny's might have been an illegal move. And then we'll get on to the next bit anyway, when in the next fight. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Kenny's is an illegal move. And then Hulk's already been done by one, and then he has to forfeit the fight. But again, I bet you any money that fighters get a bit of breathing space usually in them situations, and the ref was just probably having none of it. Either way, the ref was crooked as hell. Like, it was so obvious. And I thought the ref's being so bait here, he's going to get caught by
by the selection committee.
By the selection committee.
Yeah, mate. I thought exactly the same thing, bruv. But obviously, got to keep the script moving, mate. You know,
got to keep the script moving. This ain't about, like, they're not watching the ref; they're watching the performance. They're watching the fighters. Then we got to see Sam take on Devon, and Sam was angry. Sam was angry at this point, and the ref was still cheating.
But it's such a convincing victory. He can't cheat anymore. That's the thing. It's so convincing.
That's what they said. They said you have to give no doubt, because first of all, Devon, was it Sam should have been given a point, but she said it's out of bounds as well. And then Devon, and then Devon goes for a punch. Sam puts a block in, and it gives the block as a point for Devon. Yeah. So bait. Like, that was so bait. Then they had to step her aside, and then it was the whole, you have to win without any shadow of a doubt. Give the referee no room to maneuver, and that's exactly what she did. And she whooped her in the end. She kicked her ass. Now Sam can fight. Sam can fight.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the thing in it. That's going to be the one where it's like she holds back, and then like eventually it all comes out, and she's like, "What happened here?" Where she becomes absolutely like, if anyone's seen Dragon Ball Z, she goes up, she finds another level, she finds her true form, you know what I mean?
She definitely does. Then that's when we find out that the committee are going to take, because there's one winner from each, and this is Cobra Kai. The committee decide that Cobra Kai are going to go and Miyagi-Do Fang are going to go, and also they've got to come up with a name, because you can't call it Miyagi-Do Karate and Eagle Fang Karate. You have to come up with a name. Then after
even that scene though, you like they try to draw out the tension, like, oh, Cobra Kai are going, and then they leave it for a second. It's like, and even though we were really impressed with your dojo, it's like, mate, look, I know they're going. Get this.
Yeah, we know we're going. We know they're going, bro. Just stop messing around here. Stop playing. Stop playing.
Yeah, just stop it, mate.
Stop playing. We know they're both going, bruv. Stop playing. We know they're both going. Like, but it is what it is. It is what it is. It's playing the game. Then there's a party. There's a little bit of a celebration, because you got to celebrate if you're going to the Takeda K Karate World Tournament Championship. The Takeda K. So you got to celebrate. Miguel starts lipsing up some gal. Ratings, mate. Got ratings for that. Yeah. Who walks in? Sam, obviously, because that's how it works. Your missus splits up with you. You're like, all right, sweet. We're going to split up. We're going to go our separate ways. There's at least a gap of about a month. It must have been about a month. For us, it was a space of about 2 days. But in the world of Cobra Kai, it must have been about a month. Yeah. He's entitled for a little kiss somewhere. Do you know what I mean? He's having a party, couple of brewskis. What? He can't have a kiss? No. His ex-girlfriend walks in. She's upset. You're upset. Your mum's upset. Now look what you made me do.
Listen, the teen drama's back, but yeah, I've always hated this trope of we've broken up. So you're broken up, and then the ex-missus walks in, sees you chirping on some other lady, and she's all like wound up and upset about it, and you've got to go and like apologize. Like, nah, man, nah, bro. Like, if you want to, like, fine, like, you can apologize for her seeing it, but we broke up, love. Like, you told me.
And let's not forget, you broke up with me.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, we just want to be friends. And now, just because you found the octopus necklace that I left in your garden, we're like, and you're back in love with me, and you caught me chirping on some lady. Nah, I ain't at fault at all. Period. Don't apologise, Miguel.
Yeah,
don't.
This hasn't happened to Garth at all. Never. This has never happened to Garth in his life. He's not speaking from experience. That didn't come from the heart at all.
The scars are still there, mate. The scars are still there.
Still scars.
Anyway, this isn't therapy for Garth. This isn't therapy, you know. But yeah, again, the teenage drama comes back into it, and I understand why. And yeah, so they have that little emotional scene.
Yeah, so Sam runs away. Obviously, she runs outside. She's trying to make a phone call to an Uber. She's just about to get onto Uber, and she hears Sam, and she turns around, and it's Tori, and Tori is just about to confess that she didn't win the Valley tournament, karate tournament fairly. She didn't win it fairly, and Sam, in true Sam fashion, is just like, I completely understand, Tori. Maybe we can talk this out. Lies. In true Sam fashion, she doesn't even let Tori finish the conversation, what she's going to say, and just starts trying to beat her up. And do you know what? I was just like, oh, okay, Kieran, calm down, yeah, because this is just a TV show, yeah. But this girl, yeah, proper winds you up, mate. Yeah. Like, she's just as much a hothead as her dad. She jumps the gun. She's not understanding at all. Oh, can we just go back to... No, we haven't got there yet. So it's later on. Oh, mate. This was just fuel to the fire of why Sam LaRusso winds me up. Because she's zero empathy. Like, zero empathy. Now, I get it. Yeah. A lot happened after they lost that Valley Championship. A lot happened. But she did actually say that Silver was the one that cheated. Silver paid the ref. She had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
But she couldn't really get that out in that small space of time. But I think Robbie understood.
Everyone understood. That's the thing. What you're trying to say. Everyone, apart from Sam, and the writing. Obviously, what they're trying to get at is she starts set about Miguel, and she's just not thinking, and she needs to get her anger out on someone. And I ain't listening to none of that bullshit. Sort your life out. Stop being a hothead. Like, she's come.
It was like that.
She's apologized as well. She starts apologizing. She's telling you what's happening, how she's on the inside as a double agent, and you ain't listening to none of it. You just want to start beating down. No,
none of it.
No.
Thank God for that. I thought that was me. I thought it was me that was not being understanding at all, and it's not. It's her. No. It's her. It's not me. It's you.
100%. Especially when, like, she's been trained in Miyagi-Do, which is entirely about defense, being calm, being, you know what I mean, all the wushu nonsense or whatever it is that they do, all the Tai Chi that they do and everything. You know, it's meant to be about, like, your center, like finding your center and being exactly the opposite of what she's doing right there. You know, I mean, like I said, I understand where the writing's coming from. They're teenagers. She's got all upset because she's seen her ex-boyfriend chirps on some other bird, but no, absolutely not. Like, I didn't like that bit at all. Because obviously, because then Tori runs away as well, and I'm like, oh, got to drag it out for another 20 minutes. Just tell her what's fucking happening. Like,
honestly, that bit full stop. I wrote at least 4 or 5 lines just at how annoyed I was at that bit in my notes, bruv. Honestly, I was like, Sam fucking LaRusso once again, hothead, not giving anyone a chance to speak. Blah 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 blah. I'm getting wound up with this. Wound up. Like, I think I must have like inscribed it into the paper actually.
It's gone through 7 leaves.
I was not happy. Not happy, bro. Not happy.
But yeah, that's the end of the episode, isn't it?
That is the end of the episode because that was the final bit was the Sam runs outside, cliffhanger runs outside. Tori tells her, boom, explosion. There we go. But yeah, another good batch of episodes, and as you can see, it's starting to build up. It's starting to build up. Look, we can see what's happening. We can see that this is like what we wanted since probably season 3 of everyone from Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang to come together, like the good characters, and you can start to see that happening now. 100%. This is what you can start to see. So, yeah. Again, another trio of good episodes. I think the early ones, 5 and 6, started off a bit slower, but they all end well. That's one thing that Cobra Kai does. Whether the episode's a bit wishy-washy at the start, it always makes sure it ends well with a decent fight or some form of cliffhanger that leaves you on the edge. Yeah. I love the show. Like I said, a bit slow to start the whole season, a little bit of filler in there, but exactly what you're saying. There's always something in, even if it's not the end of the episode, there's something in each episode that keeps you, even them early Mexico episodes, there's the fight scenes, that keeps you going until the next episode. And yeah, listen, after this episode, I was so hyped for the finale that can't wait to discuss it. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. Make sure you catch the next installment of the Cobra Kai review because shit gets real. Yeah. I'll go as far as to say quickly now as a teaser, it's the best 2 episodes of Cobra Kai, period. I know it really is for me. I enjoy it so much, bruv. Let's just have a little recap in my head. Episode 9, I just remembered saying for episode 9, I'm not going to mention it, I'm just going to say one word. Savage. And I'm not, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Savage. Episode 10, what did I say when I first come on? Out of hand. Yes. So episode 9 is Savage. There's just one bit. Good. It's a great episode. But there's one bit in it, which is savage. Like when I talk about Cobra Kai takes everything it's done to the next level. They make sure that there's a certain age group that's only allowed to watch this, put it that way. And then, episode 10 just gets a bit out of hand. Just gets out of hand. Yeah. That's all I can say. There's your one-word reviews for 9 and 10 before we get the next episode up. All right. As I always say, make sure you press that like and subscribe, people. Make sure you go and follow Below the Line Media on Twitter. Check out our social media handles there. Below Line on Twitter, Below the Line on YouTube, and Below the Line on TikTok. All right. Where you can find all different forms of content. We're giving you different content on every single platform. We're not just passing around content. We're giving you all different content from every platform. Nothing reused. No recycling on this channel. No recycling. No recycling. No upcycling. Just all new content. All right. Peace out, people, and stay safe. And we couldn't finish without some absolute beauty of an 80s rock band. Oh no, don't be throwing the halls up for this, mate. I can't have that. Cobra. It's Cobra Kai. You're still trying it. You go for it, ain't you? You've been thinking about it. It's Cobra Kai. Boom, 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 boom.